Welcome to your Fall Anime 2024 First Impressions. This season is stacked with insane sequels like Ray Zero, Danmachi, Blue Lock, as well as stuff people stopped watching a long time ago, like Blue Exorcist. I do actually want to catch up. But since you're too lazy to watch season 1 of anything, here is everything new. Just a reminder on the tier list. S is extremely good. I would show that to anyone. A is pretty good. If you're a weeb, you should check it out. B is good, but I would only really suggest it if you are into that genre. C, it's pretty bad, and maybe you will find something enjoyable there, but honestly, it's trending towards not watching at all. And D is just absolute horse. Bad. D is not good. It is the opposite of good. We're starting off with Uzumaki. Not to be confused with Naruto, this is Junji Ito's magnum opus. This is probably his most famous work besides the story about the holes. And it unfortunately got massacred. The manga is 3 volumes long, 19 chapters, and it has been condensed to 4 episodes. You can already tell that's a problem with pacing. You don't really feel it in the first episode. It does feel a little bit rushed, but when you get to the second and third episode, there's just so much happening at once that it just doesn't make sense. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't make sense in general, but it makes even less sense. The pacing, not great. Animation also takes a sharp decline. Episode 1 is fantastic. It really almost captures Ito's style, but then we go into full berserk CGI, and I feel so sorry for making fun of berserk, because now I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that. If it was just the first episode, this could be A, even S tier, but it honestly deserves to be in C. I'm going to find a middle ground in B, because I think it still has worth as an introduction to his work, and hopefully you watch some of this and take that onto the manga to get the full experience. Mao 2099. This is fantastic. This is the last thing I watched before I made this tier list, and the animation, very good. It was worth the wait. The story is the devil, Lord, wakes from his slumber after however many years, and he is no longer strong at all. Since he's been asleep, modern day Earth and his fantasy world have combined. They've combined technology and magic, and now everyone can just beat him up. Thugs on the side of the road, his old lackeys, it's not great. One of his devout lackeys has a fantastic apartment ready for him, and in that respect, it reminds me a little bit of The Devil Works Part-Time, good old McDonald's isekai. But yeah, it feels like it's a little bit different and has a different viewpoint on things than your standard fantasy isekai this season. So that's going to drop into A. Check it out. I had a good time with that. Again, these are also always based on the first episode, so if it doesn't pan out that way, like Uzumaki, if I hadn't watched 2 and 3, it would have been a lot higher. So just bear in mind, if you do end up watching episode 1, 2 more, stuff can change. Amagami Sisters. This is standard harem trash. To be honest, I'm just going to put in C tier. Main character moves into a shrine and he has to marry one of the 3 sisters. There's some fantasy elements, and the romance actually doesn't look that bad. There might be a bit more to it, but just off first episode, we go straight into C tier. This one makes me worried that the police are watching me, because it is called My Wife Reincarnated as a elementary school kid, and unfortunately that's probably the wrong name, but whatever it is, it'll be up on screen and corrected. There's a lot of anime here. If I remember the name, it's probably better than the ones I don't remember that haven't made their mark. Basically, the storyline is wife dies, husband and daughter are grieving, they go into a depressive spiral, and one day this 10-year-old kid rocks up and says, "Hey, I'm your mom, I'm your wife. I just remembered the other day, but these are These are all my memories." Honestly, if you read in too much into that, this has a lot of horrible consequences. It's a bit scary, very dodgy, but it was it has the potential to be deep. I felt like they could have done some of the sadness a bit better, but it has potential. It's going to go into B for now, which is honestly shocking. Please don't call 911. This, however, is absolute trash. This is... if I remember the storyline correctly, and I don't remember the name at all, that's how little of an impact this made. But basically, humans have gods as familiars, and they control them through various incantations and items. And it's basically just Yuri fan service. Yuri? No. Yaoi fan service. There's lots of hot guys and not a lot of plot. This is the sleeper romance of the season. This is the cute, raw, fluffy pink feeling you get at the change of seasons. It's an allergy. 365 Days to the Wedding is about two socially awkward idiots who decide to get a fake marriage to avoid a promotion. They both work at a travel agency that is starting new offices in either Serbia or Siberia. I got the two confused in the short, and I'm gonna do it again. They don't want to be cold. Hell, they can't even survive a social interaction in Japan. How are they gonna make it in a place that they don't even know the language? To rectify this, they get a fake marriage. The work is looking to promote people that are unmarried so that they don't have a family here, and who have experience, which is both of them. To be honest, I don't think many people like them in the workplace because of how awkward they are. So, they get married. It's very strange, but I love it because we get to see two adults fondle through something that they both have no experience in. It's very cute, very lovable. I'm gonna drop it in B, and it's our second best anime this season. Moving on is some Villainess anime. I've completely forgotten the name at this point because it is awkward, it is bad, it's not great. It has the same problem as this one where there is a massive age gap between the leads and the villainess. I think with the main character she wants to get with, or that is the love interest in her second reincarnation, is 19 and she is 10. And I really hope that she gets older in a time skip to make it less awkward, but I don't think that's happening, especially judging by this cover art. So weird, icky feelings, it's gonna go in C. It's not great. Only 7 anime in, and we are at one of the best this season. Dun Da Dun is exactly living up to the hype. The animation is tears above anything else here. The animation is unrivaled. I'm specifically remembering a scene where the main female character is looking at you, but it's actually a reflection and it fades back. It looks gorgeous. The cinematography and how they drew those scenes, fantastic. It's by Science Saru, which is the same studio that did Devilman Crybaby way back when, and then also recently Scott Pilgrim, the anime adaptation of the TV series. Fantastic, absolutely amazing. You can feel so much life in the voice actors, in the animation, in the vibes, and we've got good old Creepy Nuts bringing us back with amazing songs. I guess a little warning, the first episode gets a bit weird. There's a lot of weenie jokes and things like that, so just prep yourself like that. It is going to be weird, but I think it's going to be worth your time. Moving on, this is an anime I don't remember the name to. I think it's Relin something, but it's about a Yakuza marriage where the girl is forced to, well, not forced, she's very independent, but she is trying to be this Yakuza boss's son's potential fiance. He sucks, he's a masochist, and they slowly develop something. Look, it's early days, but the old animation or the old style, I don't really like. The characters are a bit weird. So I'm going to drop that into C for now. It could progress more, but initial off-put is there. This anime is the Villainess. I am the Villainess that will go down in history. The best Villainess ever, going in history, something like that. And just like it claims, it is the best Villainous airing right now. That's not too hard when your competition is this one, but she wants to be the best Villainess she can be. In the Otama game she plays, she loves the Villainess, and when she's reincarnated, she just wants to do everything perfectly. She wants to get OP from the get-go. She wants to make sure the heroine doesn't get anything that she wants. She wants to be the perfect villainess. I've said villainess a lot, but that's the idea. It's really enjoyable, not quite A tier because of animation and some other factors, but a very enjoyable watch nonetheless. This is something I haven't watched. I missed this. Oops. It's not out yet, but let me look at the trailer. Okay, a lot of Japanese trailers have a lot to be desired, but that did look particularly bad. It looks like a samurai, feudal, coming of age vibe. And look, out of everything that we've gone through, I'm glad that we're gonna miss that one. I don't have high hopes, but maybe it ends up being the best thing in the season. But forget it, it's fine. Don't worry about it. This is something Nina, and it's about a slave girl who replaces the queen. No, not a slave girl, about an orphan who replaces the princess because they share blue eyes, and it's extremely rare in this world. I didn't enjoy this. It could go somewhere, but it's basically a step-brother situation where, because she's an orphan, they're actually not related, but that's where the romance is there. Moving on, we have another Isekai Reincarnated, better word? Yeah, let's say reincarnation anime where the dragon is reincarnated as a human. An old deity, dying, aged dragon is finally slayed, even though he's done not much wrong, and it's just respawned as a human. He lives his life not being too OP, but maybe something changes. In the first episode, he's just chilling in his village, making the best of life, and then does a mini quest. So not too much happens. I can't really speak too much about it, but standard isekai. A lot of people judge me for this. It's not an isekai, but it has the isekai fantasy feel, and that is where it lays short. Moving on to Mushroom Dog. Now this is extremely cute, and for some reason I cried for this. It's about a guy who loses his dog, and maybe it's because I just got a dog that I felt those emotions extremely raw. But to deal with his stress, he's blessed with a mushroom in his garden that turns out to be a dog, and they just do cute stuff together. I think it might be going somewhere, but it's probably not. The initial premise was interesting, but I don't see many ways for it to go forward. Next we have You Are My Servant, or Maid Summer, something. I knew the Japanese a second ago. Korewa Maid Summer? No. Kimi wa Meido-sama, and this is pretty damn good. Surprisingly so, because the story is very strange, and it's not something we haven't seen before, but the animation really brings it home. The action scenes are well done, and it really sells the emotion that she's feeling. Basically, she's an assassin because she's a maid, and we had Roberta's blood trail in like 2010 or whenever that was, and since then all maids have been assassins secretly. But she wants to put that life behind her, live a normal life. She rocks up at some random kid's door and promises to fulfill his services. Honestly, he needs it. His room is trash. It is basically Asmongold's room, so she devotes her life to him for some reason. But she does end up softening and getting rid of the horrible ways of the assassin. Very enjoyable watch. I may have not sold it there, but it's interesting. Check it out, see how you feel, and drop it off the first episode if it's not your cup of tea. Lockdown Level X. This is a strange one, but it fits in with the creepy pasta horror of October. It's basically plays out like a visual novel. It's very slow, very text heavy. Yeah, it's literally a visual novel. Each episode's only 10 minutes long, so that's very palatable. I weirdly enjoyed it a lot. It's great at building tension, and it's maybe something to do with the text. But even if the plot I think is interesting, or at least good at achieving its goal of making you tense, it's nowhere near B. It's unfortunately C. But the top end of C. This isn't an order, but if it was, you're on top. Next, we have something else that's problematic. There's a lot of PDFs in these series. Yeah, I don't want to get demonetized. Say what you want. But she is a teacher, and she is basically not interested in them 3D men. She is an otaku, and there is a boy in her school that really wants to date her, does anything that he can to get her attention. She says no, but one day he dyes his hair blonde, and he ends up looking like her favorite Otome character. And now she can't resist him. Well, she tries, but she has trouble hiding her attraction to him, which is a problem. Teacher, student, unless you played Persona 5, in which case it's not a problem. The anime sucks, the story is blah. Good old D, here we come. Now we have our first magical schoolgirl. I say first magical schoolgirl because there is actually a lot this season. This is a cute one where the pastel colors do a lot. Maybe the storyline gets there, but it reminds me a lot of Magical Academia that Trigger used to do. Very cute, very fun. It's about a girl who wants to be a magician but doesn't really have the talent for it. She studies a lot, she has a lot of high marks, but she doesn't really have that little push to get her through. Let's see if she gets it throughout the series. Very fun, very light-hearted. Yeah, it's just a chilled watch, so it can drop into B. Directly next is our next magical schoolgirl. This is Lemire Magical Company Incorporated. That is very wrong. Check out the text. But it's about a world where magical schoolgirls are corporatized. They work office jobs basically as these defenders of justice. They're basically policemen in dresses, but extremely cute. Enjoyed it. CGI fighting was on point. So B as well, but more topper tier than this one. Mecha UD is fantastic. I was really looking forward to this. It's based on an OVA/pilot that came out in like 2022. As a standalone, it was fantastic, but now that they've built up a world with better animation budget and everything like that, it's really coming together cool. It's basically, let's just say it's Transformers, kids, aliens. It's a lot of fun. Check it out, the animation's cool. I don't want to spoil too much there. Next we have ACR Trip. Yeah, Astro? No, ACR. You be the judge. Another magical schoolgirl where this nerd moves to a rural town and she finds a magical schoolgirl. She falls in love, but somehow has to coach the villain on how to be a better villain to make her beloved superhero appear better. Kinda like the S&M magical schoolgirl, but more PG-13, I guess. A lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. Drop it into B where all the magical schoolgirls belong. Maybe I'm a bit biased. I recently rewatched Madoka. Fantastic anime. So maybe the magical schoolgirl frenzy has me. I went to an all guys mixer. This is basically trap bait, where 3 college guys go to a mixer with what they thought were going to be girls, but ends up being 3 girls in drag, and they just basically stay in drag the whole time. So it's like, it's fake yaoi, which is a little bit insulting, but it's a fun watch, and it's interesting to see their interactions, open their minds. It's gonna be in C because the budget for animation isn't there. Very interesting though. This is trash. I think this is a school kids anime that somehow I watched, but it's something slime. My girlfriend is a slime. But basically this guy's slime comes to life. Yeah, it's a D tier immediately. $1 trillion game is kind of like Wolf of Wall Street. I really enjoyed this, and maybe I shouldn't have because it's kind of weird, but I think I've been enjoying the weird stuff recently. I don't want to keep watching isekai fantasy when it goes nowhere. I have no idea where this is going, where this anime is going, and that's something I really appreciate. Basically, they want to be the next trillionaires, which I don't even think we have trillionaires as individuals, maybe companies, but that's their game. Let's see how they get there. B tier on the way. The Loner in Another World? As you can see by the profile, not a loner. There's a lot of women there. I guess he's trying to run away. But Guy tries to escape his whole class being isekai'd. They get ahead of him, obviously, and he just has the bad equipment left over and he has to survive on that. He doesn't want to work with anyone, he just wants to be a loner. Honestly, generic isekai, I wasn't enjoying that too much even from the first episode. Negative Angler. This one I feel is special, and this is maybe the difference between an A and a B. I'd love to put it in A, but I know it's not going to appeal to everyone. Basically, the guy's super depressed, gambled his life away. He's getting his vibes back by fishing. And honestly, it's a cool story. I enjoyed episode 1, and I feel like it can really deal with, again, a lot of depression and trauma that comes through in some of these anime titles. So it's gonna be in Leby. This is the best romance of the season. Not by far, because I am enjoying 365 Days to the Wedding, but Blue Box is one of the A-tier animes this season. Probably the best. It's based on a manga that's been pretty hyped up. It's about a sports club, not really, a sports-orientated school where the main lead character is in love with the basketball captain, star, let's just say star, and he practices late with her and their relationship builds from there. I know I didn't sell it. I don't know how to sell it. The animation is good. It's one of the Netflix animes, but check it out. Check out the first episode. It'll convince you much better than I did. I forget what this anime is called, which is maybe a sentence you've heard one too many times, but it's about a talker, i.e. a druid or speaker that buffs his party like that, who's aiming to be the strongest, or to have the strongest clan in the world that they're in. So after being betrayed, he recruits assassins, super strong people. He doesn't care who they are. He just wants to be the strongest around. Not fantastic. Here you're going to see good old isekai fantasy. Again, that one's not an isekai, but I'm driving this home because people kill me over that point. And here's your 20th generic fantasy. This one is about a group of friends who swear to be the strongest fighters ever, and our main character realizes that he's maybe not as strong as the rest of his friends, but hey, they want him involved, so they make him the leader. Maybe they think he's strong, maybe not. He just wants to retire. Oh, why have I done this? He just wants to where did it go? He just wants to retire. He just wants to retire, so he just lazes around and tries not to do work. This is a C tier at best. Yokai Teacher is about a teacher who is bad at teaching, so he goes to a remote island where he's offered a position, but little does he know, he'll be teaching yokai, which is just Japanese monsters or mythology. It's interesting. I have a soft spot for teacher anime because I like that relationship and I am an ex-teacher. So it goes into C. Trust me, that's saving it from a D. Orbs. Chi. Chikyu, movements of the earth, movements of the orbs, is a special anime. As the season go on, it actually might progress to S tier, but at the moment, from episode 1, it's an A. It's a story that I've not seen told before, and I really appreciate the depth and the accuracy that it has gone through so far. It's about a young boy in Poland 15th century, no, rather 1500s, because there is a difference, history buffs will know, where religion is the main law. Anything outside or challenged the main religion of the time, Christianity, was mocked, including the sciences, and often taken to very extreme situations. Now, we have Rafal, who is a prodigy going into university, wanting to study theology, but is interested in taking astronomy. Even as a passion, it's something that he loves. But it opens the door to the heretics. And I'm going to leave it there, but it's extremely, extremely interesting. Watch it. Please, Lord, watch it. By episode 3, I think you'll have your verdict. And then the last one is fantasy trash. This is the one where the healer is actually not a healer, but a DPS. And he's very strong. C tier. None of the isekais or fantasies, there are no fantasies above C except for Mao 2099. Please use that to your advantage. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Maybe I've been a bit too harsh on some of them, but this is the standard I think we're at. Once you include Ray Zero, Danmachi, and the rest, I think we do have quite a strong season. But overall, take some pics, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.